not often I get a rifle from one of the major manufacturers that I'm not familiar with, but that's what happened. And stick around till the end. I'll create a little bit of tension here. But first off, I've got a new cover here on the studio table. I ordered green, and it looks to me like kind of an off green, I would say. But as you know, I don't like disagreeing with anybody, so hopefully it looks all right. Definitely bright enough. Let's start with Ruger 77. And this is all just part of a story with a cool ending. So you all know this rifle, very common, excellent rifle. I'm going to bump into something. This is the original Tang version. Somebody rebarreled it in 25-06, Ackley improved, fantastically accurate rifle. And what I'll draw to your attention for this rifle is the bolt handle. This, like I said, it all plays into sort of a little Agatha Christie situation. So mental note of the bolt handle, and we'll set this rifle aside. Then this one you all know, this is a post 64 Model 70 Winchester. You know, for all the lamenting, and I've said this before, the post 64, of course, it's not a controlled round feed, but what is a controlled round feed these days? This was and is an excellent rifle, one of the best ever. Definitely shouldn't have been punished the way it was. And what are we looking at on this one? So you've captured a mental image of the Ruger 77 bolt handle. And on this one, try to remember the bolt shroud. It's very distinctive on the Winchester because of well, I don't know what you call that, flag safety here. We all know how this works. So that's the Winchester. Also, the receiver profile. That means the shaping of the receiver, rear ring, front ring, quite distinctive. The floor plate doesn't play into this story of any of these models. And just to refresh your memory, and for people that aren't familiar with the Ruger 77, the Ruger 77 receiver has the milled-in dovetails, so that's quite distinctive. And although they did have a model called the Round Top, Model 77, that didn't have the dovetails, but that was only for a short time. So we've got a bolt handle to think about, and we've got a bolt shroud to think about, and the shaping of the receiver. This is a really weird video. And then we have the bolt face. This is a Remington 700 custom shop product. I don't know what grade it is. I'll just turn it around, but you know, never underestimate that Remington custom shop. Just unbelievable rifles they turned out. They may again, or maybe they never stopped. I have no idea. But this is a wonderful custom rifle. And the nice thing about custom rifles from the major manufacturers, custom shops, is they tend to retain their value because they are custom, but at the same time, they're not for, you know, buyers that are really fickle about details like a full custom rifle. Anyhow, so we set this rifle down, and on this one, the only thing to remember is the bolt face. That's a very distinctive feature of the Remington. The Winchester is probably similar. I'll take it out and set it next to the Remington. There is the Winchester. But definitely, Remington sort of started a new trend with this bolt face. And then arrives this rifle, which I'd never seen before. Frankly, I didn't even know it existed. And have a look at this. So we've got kind of a Remington bolt face, I think you'd agree. Now, I'm not saying it's a perfect match, but definitely Remington-ish bolt face. Same with the bolt handle. It's not exactly a Ruger. I'll take out the Ruger. There's the Ruger bolt handle. But you can see there are sort of echoes of the Ruger bolt handle. And then, of course, the Model 70 bolt shroud. I would say that's quite close. Again, there are minor differences, but so we have a rifle here that has Model 70 style bolt shroud. Hey, there goes my nice green felt. Sort of a Ruger bolt handle, and then the Remington bolt face. So who would do this? So it's this rifle. Oh, and the profiling of the receiver, like a Model 70 Winchester. Very similar. The bolt release is not similar. This is different for this model from any of these rifles. And naturally, you know, I tried different bolts to see what would fit in what. And nothing interchanges, which would be normal. So what is this fantastic rifle? It's a Marlin MR7B. It was only made for 2 or 3 years. And the B means it has no floor plate or magazine. And apparently there was just an MR7. Maybe it's common to you, but it sure isn't common to me. I've never seen this. I always like the rifles that have no floor plate, just because it's so simple and fewer parts. Not that the floor plate has all that many parts. Kind of a modern looking trigger guard, very practical. This is beech or birch stock, as far as I can tell. And believe it or not, when it arrived, I bought this from a fellow, he runs a company, Dennis, Intersurplus, and it actually had the hang tags, the original, as if it was sitting on some dealer's rack for, I don't know, 20 years or more. But we'll get out and shoot it, and what does it say on the butt plate? I never even... Oh yeah, there's it's a Marlin. Everything is brand new. So I guess the people at Marlin decided that if they can't really offer anything new in a bolt action, maybe they can offer a little bit of each of the best sellers. And it's very cool to own something like this. I'm sure it shoots. I've never had a bad Marlin of any kind, and I doubt that this would be an exception. And I thought you would find that interesting. How does the bolt run and the trigger and all the rest? I mean, how could they get it wrong? It's all fine. The trigger is about 4 pounds, which to me is totally fine. And accuracy, I have no idea because, like I said, I didn't shoot it. Checkering is fine. I don't mind the beech or birch stock. I'd like, of course, walnut better. And apparently there were walnut stock models. I looked into a little bit, but not enough. I'll learn more. Maybe you know more. Send your comments, please. Anyhow, there's another one for the USOG inventory of unusual firearms. So I guess they didn't sell well. Maybe people didn't appreciate them. They didn't have something like totally unique. So I'll stop talking about that. And then there were a couple of questions. One was regarding push, like barrels that are forced into the receiver. The terminology escapes me at this moment. Most barrels are threaded into the receiver, and some are press fit. That's the right terminology. Press fit's been around a long time. The HK 770, the Zauer 100, quite a few are press fit. So what does that mean? Well, if you want to change the barrel, a little tricky because it's press fit. It's tough to get that barrel out. Most of the time you have to sort of mill the barrel out. Sometimes you can heat them up. There are other tricks that gunsmiths know. Installing a muzzle brake can be, like any work that you want to do on a press fit barrel is a little different because you can't take the barrel off and then put on a muzzle brake or whatever else you're working on. So you'd have to get a fixture for the lathe, which probably is sold, but it adds a level of complexity. Other than that, press fit barrels are fine. They seem to last forever. Some people talk about the harmonics being superior. I don't know. I knew a fellow who made custom rifles who actually didn't press fit and didn't thread. He silver soldered the barrels in place. And I don't know how he did the headspace and all the rest of that stuff. But essentially, he created kind of a one-piece unit, sort of like the Steyr monoblocks, which are actually just one piece. The barrels aren't press fit. The whole thing is machined in one go. Anyway, I could talk for a long time. But yeah, thank you for watching. And please support the channel. And I look forward to seeing you all next time. And keep the comments and notes. And, one of these days I'm going to do one of those letter videos. I received letters, and some of them are just fantastic. I received a great one from Alberta that I should really read to you, and about the situation in Alberta. And I should update you on that rusty Browning Safari 458. I made good progress. I think I have all the rust out as far as I'm going to take it. And maybe I'll just show you that and then probably assemble the whole thing. All right, so there it is. If you can find one of these, I'm not sure it's the scarcest Marlin, but it has to be a pretty rare rifle, no doubt about it. And it's 30-06, and I told you this is 25-06 Ackley improved. People always ask me what calibers. The Model 70 is a 308, and the custom rifles in 8mm Remington Magnum, which, as you know, is one of my favorite cartridges, especially for long-range shooting, which for me is probably not long-range shooting for you. All right, well, take care until next time. We'll see you then.